Good evening, everyone. This is Greg Wright. Welcome back to my show. We are back with another article concerning the health series part 2. This time we are talking about food additives in Kellogg's cereal. Kellogg's cereal. This article is from the Daily Mail. It's a UK publication that doesn't have too much bias and fakeness as U.S. publications do. So they do a pretty good job at telling the story straight and giving the public the information needed to make an informed decision. Let's hop right into it. So we got the article named Ex-FDA food expert reveals why Kellogg's Fruit Loops is worst cereal in U.S. amid calls for cancer chemical ban. This article was written by Sadie Whitlocks for the dailymail.com and then Emily Joshu for the dailymail.com, published on 17 October 2024. Jumping right into it. A leading food safety expert has branded Kellogg's Fruit Loops the worst breakfast cereal in the U.S. amid protests about the ingredients in the product. Ex-FDA food chief Dr. Darwin Detweiler told DailyMail.com that the colorful rings are heavily processed and contain high levels of added sugars, artificial dyes, and preservatives, which are linked to health concerns. The morning snack contains 12.35 grams of sugar per serving, which is 1 cup per serving, or 3 teaspoons, which is almost half a child's daily allowance. Dr. Detweiler notes that most children consume a lot more than the recommended serving size, as 1 cup is not a realistic amount. I mean, some kids, even mine, they get these egg beater bowls or these super big popcorn bowls and pour cereal and milk in it. It's ridiculous. I mean, when you were a kid and you have parents that are not really engrossed in this stuff, it's pretty easy to let them get away with that kind of stuff. But the more you know, the more you grow, and the more that each one teaches one to do a better job at paying attention to what goes in your body. But more concerning is the additives Fruit Loops contain. Dr. Detweiler said Red 40, a dye that gives the hoops their neon red color, was the most concerning. It's banned in several European countries for its link to hyperactivity and cancer, and are not present in most products internationally, such as those in Australia and Canada. So why would our U.S. federal, Food Drug Administration approve this junk for our citizens, right? There should be a standard across the board, I think. He says the worst offending dye in Fruit Loops is Red 40, which has been banned in several European countries for its link to hyperactivity and cancer, and are not present in most products internationally, such as those in Australia and Europe. And now you see the nice, colorful Fruit Loop box that you could see in any grocery store in the cereal aisle. Looks nice, doesn't it? When I was a kid, I wanted 15 boxes of them things if my parents allowed me to. All right, let's continue. Along with campaigners, most notably actress Eva Mendes, Dr. Detweiler is calling for Kellogg's to consider reformulating their products to reduce the use of artificial additives, dyes, and high sugar levels. He continues with growing concerns about the long-term health effects of processed ingredients, especially those linked to cancer risks like certain food dyes. Kellogg's has the opportunity to lead in healthier food production. It's not good for their bottom line. And plus, I think they're working hand in hand with Big Pharma to push us to sickness, so that Big Pharma could continue to profit off of our ignorance, right? That's the way this thing goes. By focusing on cleaner ingredients and transparency, they can address consumer concerns and shift towards healthier, more sustainable food options. Some of the other cereals Dr. Detweiler recommends steer clear of. Some of the other cereals Dr. Detweiler recommends steering clear of are Lucky Charms for its high sugar content and artificial colors, and Frosted Flakes for their high sugar content. These cereals may also contain food dyes linked to potential health risks, which is a concern when consumed frequently, especially by children, he adds. With all these cereals, Dr. Detweiler says they should only be considered occasional treats and most definitely not consumed on a daily basis. Well, you know that's not true for most Americans, unless you're a Quaker or someone who is very conscious about what foods to eat. That's the only way it's going to happen. And if we spread this information to people who may not know about it, right? New York-based nutritionist Lisa Moskovitz agreed with this serving suggestion, telling DailyMail.com, even though these sugary cereals are harmless in very small quantities, if consumed on a regular basis, they could cause a serious health problem. Dr. Detweiler's comments come off the back of Eva Mendes demanding the removal of harmful food dyes in popular American children's cereals. The 50-year-old actress took to Instagram last week to warn about artificial dyes in Kellogg's cereals like Fruit Loops. And then this chart right here shows states that outlawed food additives, which is California. I'm surprised about that. And then you have 3 other states that proposed outlawing the food additives. Everybody else in state, including my home state of Virginia, doesn't give 2 craps, right? Florida, Texas, Washington. What happened to you guys? Let's get on board. Let's get on board with California for once. In this instance, for once, California is doing the right thing by its people. Dyes such as Red 40 and Yellow 5 have been banned in many parts of the world, but they continue to persist in U.S. versions. Kellogg's promised to remove artificial colors and ingredients from all its cereals nearly a decade ago by 2018, but has yet to deliver on that promise because there's no government regulation agency that's holding them accountable. I mean, that is the truth. No accountability. Mendez, who shares two daughters with husband Ryan Gosling, called on Kellogg's to remove these dyes and urged her 6.6 million followers to join a peaceful march to Kellogg's headquarters. That protest took place Tuesday outside of the cereal giant's Michigan headquarters, where dozens of activists delivered a petition with nearly 400,000 signatures. Mendez wrote on Instagram, "I grew up on cereal. I still love it, but I won't eat Kellogg's anymore after I found out so many of the ingredients they use here in the U.S. are banned in other countries." Why? Because they're harmful for children. The U.S. doesn't seem to care about its children. It seems from this article. I'm not making this stuff up. YouTube, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm only reading an article from the DailyMail.com that is reporting on high sugar levels and food additives that causes or may cause health risks to children especially. Mendez compared the nutrition labels of Fruit Loops in the U.S. and Canada. The American variety contains Red 40, Yellow 5, Blue 1, Yellow 6, butylate, hydroxytoluene, BHT, which have been linked to health problems in children. Canadian Fruit Loops replaced these dyes with concentrated blueberry, carrot, and watermelon juices. In a statement, Kellogg said, "Our products and the ingredients we use to make them are compliant with all applicable relevant laws and regulations." And again, it's, big business in bed with the regulators that get kickbacks for, hey, allegedly, right? Allegedly. But if you have food additives and colorings that's clearly linked to health problems in kids or people in general who consume it, and it still hits the market for consumption, you gotta leave yourself to wonder what's really going on here. Are the regulators really regulating, or are they getting paid not to regulate? It's a fair question. We remain committed to transparently labeling our ingredients so consumers can easily make choices about the food they purchase. All right. It is a choice at the end of the day. Parents who are educated on this stuff, they have the power to not purchase it. But if you have a nagging kid, if you have a household that both parents work and you're looking for something quick and easy and stuff like that, those facts tend to be overlooked. But if you're educated and you plan enough, you can replace these highly additive foods or ultra processed foods with fruits, vegetables, or other finger food type things that are more healthier. The company also claimed that 85% of its cereals do not contain colors from artificial sources. Okay, so now we're looking at a graph that shows the US version and the Canadian version. And as you can see, according to this article, the US version has red 40, yellow 5, blue 1, yellow 6, BHT for freshness, while the Canadian version doesn't. Very interesting. Here's a quick shot of Eva Mendes. Very lovely. All right, continuing on. Red 40, yellow 5, and 6, and blue 1 are dyes used to give cereals and other processed foods their bright colors. They have been theorized to exacerbate attentional problems in children, leading to EU regulators to mandate that product makers say dyes could cause an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Here's a link to I believe this is a link to a 2021 report. Okay, that is a hyperlink. A 2021 report from California's Environmental Protection Agency also linked artificial dyes to hyperactivity and other neurobehavioral problems in some children, particularly those with ADHD or existing behavioral disorders. Red 40 as well as yellow 5 and yellow 6 also contain benzidine, a human and animal carcinogen permitted in lower levels. According to the FDA, ingestion of free benzidine raises the cancer risk to just under the concern threshold, or one cancer in 1 million people. One cancer is one too many, especially when you're talking about food that the FDA approved to be on the market for people to consume. Right? BHT for freshness, meanwhile, is an additive used to keep food fresh. It also may be found in beauty products like lip glosses and lotions, as well as chewing gum. So we're not safe anywhere, guys. we got to go back to nature. We got to look at what our ancestors have done in the past to consume the type of products that are natural, obviously, and were beneficial to the body instead of harmful. The research on BHT is mixed, though some studies have suggested that its long-term exposure cause liver and thyroid issues in mice by disrupting hormones. Several states have made steps to ban or restrict these additives. Earlier this year, California became the first state to ban schools from serving foods containing red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 1, blue 6, and green 3. Gee whiz. Boy, oh boy. In March, New York State officials called for the removal of red dye number 3. This word I can't pronounce. Let's give it a propylbarabine brominated vegetable oil, BVO, potassium bromate, titanium dioxide. Oh boy, this is a biggie. Azodicarbonamide and BHA. I'm sorry for butchering that, but very terrible. And that really gets to my next and last point. I think in part one I said a lot about being aware of your surroundings and what you put in your bodies. I think this time is when you're buying something from the grocery store and you're reading the ingredients list. As is a prime example, I tried to read some of the ingredients I couldn't pronounce and I feel embarrassed. Well, the same thing should apply when you're in a grocery store aisle. If you're looking at the ingredients list and you can't pronounce the ingredients, you probably shouldn't buy it. It should say water, turkey, beans, salt, pepper, things that we could actually say and pronounce and feel good about, that there aren't any extra additives and preservatives in the food that you're about to consume. Hey, if you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in part 3 of the health series. Thank you.